Good evening and welcome to tonight's Heroes Half Hour. I'm Hammy from FailCraft Casts, and tonight we are going to be going straight into casting a Blizzard show match on Heroes of the Storm. This is going to be on Haunted Mines, so without further ado, let's jump straight on into this game. And as we boot up the map, we can see that Haunted Mines is going to be a control map. It has 2 lanes as opposed to the usual 3 in the other maps, and we are going to have our blue team facing off against our red team today for domination of the game. Now, if you're not familiar with MOBAs or this kind of game, we will be talking a bit about it for newer players as we go along. If you're an experienced player, there'll be plenty for you here in terms of this kind of thing. We jump straight in. We've got Valor the Demon Hunter there with Claudio. We have the Witch Doctor and Zebo as another class. We have B. Crawford playing as Kerrigan from StarCraft, and Tassadar there as well. And late to the party we have Chef Pudges himself, or Patches as other people might know him as. Rocking right up to the red team, we have Tyrande herself, the elite Tauren chieftain in all of his Glamrock glory, Jim Raynor from StarCraft, Gazlo himself, and then last but not least, he's a lumberjack, he's okay, and it is Uther in all of his lovely lumberjack gear glory. And as elite Tauren chieftain starts moshing out there, let's just quickly have a look at the map itself and see what we're going to be playing today. So Heroes of the Storm, for you who are not familiar, is a 5v5 online brawler. You team up with 4 people, jump into a game and try, in short, to kill your opponent's base. However, there are obstacles in the way, and as we ride out into the map we see some of those obstacles as our heroes walk past bits of their base, turrets and similar things that have to be overcome in order to conquer the map. And we go straight into our first team fight here. You can see the 2 teams dancing around each other, a huge bunch. We've got Uther hiding there in the bush and Kerrigan hiding there as well. Our blue team are particularly dangerous because they have 2 hooks, and we'll probably see one of those, I think, in action very, very soon. Kerrigan dives on in, hooks people away. Elite Tauren Chieftain is putting a big wall up, and Claudio, our Demon Hunter, is taking a lot of damage, has to get back. Lots of trades. Paul is pulled in. The Elite Tauren Chieftain is right in the middle of our blue team here, and he's not going to be able to get away. Health is low, and red team falls. Blue team pick up the first blood. Straight away we see another hook from Patches. Ku being really good in hooking into Randy. She tries to run away, but that's a second kill, and already our blue team have taken a very, very early lead here. Now, as we pause in the action in Heroes of the Storm, unlike some other games of this genre, you level up as a team. So what is happening here is that the blue team have got an experience lead. They are on level 2, and they will be higher in level 2 in terms of experience. In this phase, another hook flies in from Patches. This time Paul, the Elite Tauren Chieftain, again, he's not getting away as ETC. He is dancing very, very dangerously close to the blue team, and so far he's paid for that. As we watch the teams go back and forth in this top lane, you can see that at the moment it's 4v4. We'll pan down to the bottom lane in a second, and as our Lord of the Map mouses over, we can see that a key part of the Haunted Mines is in fact the mine, and we'll come on to that in a bit. At this point in time, Paul picked in again. Patches really, really making the most use of his hook ability, and the teams go into another team fight. At the moment we're 3v4. Alan Newman, the Uther, is he going to get away? He's dancing with death here. Paul comes in, ETC defends against him, and Ku as Patches taking a lot of damage, a very, very tanky character, and the blue team managed to get away just for this time being. Still a 3v4, blue team's health is very low, they're going to have to be very careful. We pan to the bottom lane and we can see what seems to be a very sedate game, but both Zach as the Witch Doctor and El Namzuga as Raynor doing a very important job, as I said, in Heroes. Paul, low health, tries to get away. The yellow team now pushing in, and Claudio rolls in with that Volt as a Demon Hunter to pick up the kill on ETC. And blue team really stretching a little lead now. They've got 3 kills to 0, and that experience is going to be paying a difference soon. So while we have this laning phase, while these guys are picking up a few kills and getting some experience, let's just have a quick talk about the mines. The feature of the Haunted Mines is that over a certain duration of time, the mines open, and you can go downstairs into the mines, farm some skulls. When you have a certain amount of skulls, you get a skull golem, large creature that then comes out onto the map and tries to attack your opponent's base. Long story short, the more skulls that you have, the more powerful that creature is, so there is a good incentive for farming those skulls as soon as the mines become open. And as we can see, the undead have just spawned in the mines. The gold in the entrance of that mine show it's open. We have a 3v2 in the top lane. We also have a 2v2 in the bottom lane, and it looks as though Raynor has got caught. Kerrigan chasing up on Raynor, and yep, there goes the final shot, and Raynor is down for the kill. 4 kills to 0 now for our blue team. Paul the ETC, he's going to try and take down Kerrigan. He's low health and he just managed to escape back to this base. What we will see now is, having had a fight on the top lanes to get experience, our heroes are jumping straight into the mine entrance. They're going to be trying to farm those skulls. Straight up in the middle of the map, you now see the skull indicator in your top centre. 14 skulls to 0 for the blue team. Important thing here, as we see Ku, as Pudge and our Tassadar friend here also get caught. These two are actually taking up 3 of the enemy team. Pudge very easily able to take a bit of damage. He's a very big tank as our Patches with his hook ability, a brilliant initiator. As you've seen earlier in the game, he's really got the red team in some trouble. And another person comes in. We see Raynor coming in as well. 2 of our blue team really trying to tank and kite this red team, but as you can see, a 5. Paul also comes in. It's 5 versus 2, and the fate of these blue team heroes is almost certainly sealed. Tassadar managed to use an ultimate to get away, but he is not going to get any further, and Ku is probably also going to go down. 2 blue team heroes down. You may have seen just then on the screen that we saw that the blue teams captured a mercenary camp. We will pan up to the top, and when we see those we'll talk about them in a bit, but they also, if you take mercenary camps, give you powerful creatures that help you siege your opponent's base. So some very useful map objectives. As we go up top here, we can see Zach, our witch doctor friend, is grinding away in his bottom lane, getting valuable experience for his team, and the red team are flying in. We've already seen that our blue team, Kerrigan and our demon hunter Claudio, have managed to engage the big skull golem in the mines. He gives a lot of skulls. Now you may see that at the top it's 77 skulls for the blues to 7 for the reds. Even though 2 of our blue team heroes managed to drop there, they actually distracted the red team for long enough to have a really big skull league. And of course, the more skulls that you have, the more powerful your skull golem is going to be when it is summoned. You have to get to a total of 100 skulls to be farmed between the 2 teams before those skull golems will come out. So we'll have a very powerful blue golem and a not so powerful red golem at this point in time. Now we see that Ku, Patches, and we can then see that Tassadar coming in to join. These 2 working as almost mage and buffer and tank are going to engage the mercenary camps. Take out a mercenary camp, as blue team have just done now, and you will get powerful creatures to come and help you. And Ku comes in, riding in as Patches, a really huge creature on a really tiny horse. Doesn't make visual sense, but let's ride with it. Anything can happen in the Nexus. Another mercenary camp for the blue team, and here we can see the siege ogres. Now you can see that those guys have got a very long rock throw there. They can actually outrange both towers, both bits of the base, and the palace itself, the core of the base. And another team fight in here. It's a 3v3. Raynor is looking pretty squishy, and you can see that Patches is leading in, a very strong tank. He's being buffed and protected from behind. Is he going to get away? He's gone so low. He should not have re-engaged there, and it looks as though the Paul is going to chase him up. And yeah, I think Patches is down. He should have not come back for that second initiation. We are still down to a 2v2 in this lane. The red team drop a hero as well. Looks as though Kerrigan B. Crawford is running. Zach is running. They're so low on health, but Raynor is a ranged hero. He is not going to let Kerrigan get away. Kerrigan drops, and it's all going off in the bottom lane. Raynor is going to go down finally, even though those banshees come in, and Zach now gets away to fight another day. Claudio, the demon hunter, actually gets caught. Val really needs to vault out the way or get something away, but thankfully the witch doctor comes straight back. 2 versus 1. They might be able to take out Uther if they're really careful. Being a lumberjack is not okay in this situation, and Claudio, even though Claudio does great damage, he does not want to be caught close, and the ETC. Paul flies in with his ultimate, a brilliant initiator there as well, and our blue team just totally got caught napping. They've actually been pulled back now. It's 7 kills to 5. At level 11 for both teams. We can now see that at level 10 they've got their ultimates, and that huge blue golem coming out. That 88 skulls is now giving a huge blue golem for the blue team. It's going to be stomping along the top lane, taking out anything it sees, and really trying to do some damage on the base. So reds will have to be careful here. Reds have their own golem as well. You can see it's a lot smaller visually. That's because a lot less skulls went into making it, and it's a lot less powerful. So we can see that at the moment we've got a 2v1 in the top lane here, but the reds have gone for a bit of a risky strategy. 3 of them jumping into the bottom lane, backs and forths, and then now we focus on the 2 blues. We can see their big golem and 2 player supports making mincemeat of that top lane, but the blue team in this bottom lane are going to have some problems. It is 3v4, and with a golem as well, the reds have managed to jump in and pick one team off, and as we can see, it's now a 4v2. Claudio in easy AI. Tassadar is going to have to get back there and level up well deservedly for the reds in the bottom lane. So blue team, a bit of a risky strategy here. They're hoping against hope that the smaller golem can be combated, but with 1 player already down and a 12-second spawn timer, it's a 4v2. Even though the golem is down, Tassadar has got to be very careful here. He's getting focused down. Raynor with his sniper ability at range, looking to see if he can pick him off, but Tassadar gets beyond his gate and he is safe for now. However, red team pick up the fort in the bottom lane. They've managed to get the first 2 base points out as well. Meanwhile, the big blue golem, accompanied by 2 blue players, is sieging the top lane, and we're very closely matched here now. Even though the blues have a small level lead that they've kept from earlier in the game, the red team have got back on the kills. It is 7-7, so the experience gap is closing. ETC Paul, and meanwhile we've got the red team now going to the top lane. They decide to focus down the blue golem, and we now have a bit of a reset. Until the mines open again, we're going to be back into a bit of a laning phase and seeing who can pick up more mercenary camps, who can get a bit more experience ground, and Zac is in trouble here. Zac really needs to get away. Witch Doctor does not want to be that close to a melee hero like Uther, and even though, and there goes the ultimate from the Witch Doctor, a Diablo-esque Lord of Terror flying on in, and he picks up a lovely little hero kill there. It's not going to get quite far enough to Uther. His lumberjackness is running away there, absolutely fine, although they have to be very, very careful here. Raynor, Paul initiates the ETC, a very tanky hero, just like Pudges for our blue team, but Paul is really, really disrupting and buying enough time for his red team colleagues to run away. Blue team, meanwhile, are working on the mercenary camps. Raynor getting in some snipes, and there's a bit of a team fight kicking off in this top lane. It is 4v3, but the main damage dealer of the blue team, our demon hunter friend Valor, is really in quite dire straits, quite low health there, and has to be so careful. Paul flies in and tries to initiate, but Valor, demon hunter, is on hand. Raynor then snipes away, and Valor was too low health and too close. Raynor will fall here. Oh no, he gets away. It is a 3v5. This is 3v4, sorry. Even though Ku, the tank, is in there, he's on half health. Patches can take a lot of damage, but not quite this much damage. Ultimates flying in left and right from the red team, and blue are getting so thinly spread, and it is now 5v3. The blue team really need to regroup and get back to their base at this point. Cracking job in that team fight by red, and they're now pushing down. Meanwhile, ignored by everyone in the bottom lane, blue minions are having a party, and it looks as though they're going to pick up this small part of the red base. That is one fort down in the top lane, one in the bottom. So reds, not really having pushed this top, have some good damage on the bottom lane because blue did not defend it in the last phase, and now we get to a bit of a farming phase. Tassadar trying to pick up some farming. We can see that the red team now, having previously neglected these minion camps, are flying on in and making sure that they are getting mercenaries so that they have additionally buffed and stronger waves when it comes to the next push on the lane. Meanwhile, yellow, by yellow I mean blue, are jumping in and picking up these siege ogres as well, those rock throwing ogres that we saw before. Everyone getting a bit thinly spread out across the map here. We can see that two reds have committed to the bottom lane, and a pair of blue team have also committed to this other siege ogre camp. So in this phase, both teams not trying to commit. In flies Tyrande, and we now have Uther as well. There is a lot kicking off up here, and the two blue players have been totally surrounded. Two from the top lane, two from the bottom lane. One drops. Ku is going to drop as well, and with the longer respawn timers, it's now 5 versus 3. The power play advantage has gone to our red team. B. Crawford, Easy AI is in totally out of position, even though we can see that the mines have reopened. Having those extra skulls and having that golem will do nothing if you've already lost the game. Tassadar needs to get out of those mines and get straight back into his base. We've got 15 seconds on the respawn timers. Even though blue team are picking off mercenary camps and farming skulls, they really need to be back in their base defending these towers. 5 men of the reds team in the bottom lane, pushing forward, turret down, fort down, and now we can see the core of the base that needs to be destroyed for the game to end. It's the palace. It's been made vulnerable. Suddenly all of the blue team have respawned and they're flying on in, but what we can see in this team fight is although Uther is almost focused down, the blue team are really not focusing on the damage dealing threats of the reds. Too much damage is going on too many different people, and Paul, the ETC tank of the red team, is going in and just hitting people totally unheeded. Red's kiting very well. Claudio is on very low health. We've seen that demon hunter picked off before when on low health, and he cannot get anywhere near the action because his health is so low. Flying on in both directions, health very low for our blue team here, and the reds really doing a great job in this team fight. Kerrigan picked down, and now that could be the end, even though that the blue team fort has been down. Alan Newman, Uther may be dropped here, but Claudio cannot push too far, and Paul flying in with 2 melee strikes, just ripping apart the carrying, damaging, key damage character of our blue team. And as we see Pudges and Patches mopping up some of these minions on the low lane, there is a hook there. We might be able to pick off Raynor. Red team's palace is now under attack from the minions who are moving out, but at this stage in time we've got 2 blue team players down. The entire red team is still up, and blue team should not go on the attack here, yet they're pushing out of their base. We can see the siege ogres that were captured have done a good job in pushing to the red base, but they will go no further due to the couple of player advantage in the power play. They've got a couple of extra of their team up. The red team are easily going to be able to deal with those ogres and simply negate that threat to their base. Now this is a little bit risky. I'm not entirely sure why Zac is pushing this far out the base. Pudges and Patches should not be joining him at this stage, although happily the entire blue team is up. At this stage in a game, you really want to be fighting as a team. If we swoop into the kills, we can see that now it's levels. Forts, although blue have one more fort, red are in a very, very advantageous position, and we can see that red have actually extended the lead with some kills as well, so red will be levelling up that little bit faster. Now it's a little bit of a shadow boxing phase, back and forth we go. Alan Newman, Uther is jumping in and picking up some of those minion camps, and again blue have resumed their tactic of having a few people up top to try and slow red while they try and get that golem out to win the game. However, as we saw last time, even though the hero gets picked off 1-1, we've seen one down on either side, and Zach really needs to get back to that base. He's going to be able to run, but we can see that red circle of death, and that means that the ETC is moshing in and Zach has nowhere to go. That ranged initiation, really, really powerful. And oh no, we've got 2 of the blue team, 3 of the blue team, 3 team members of the blue team. They will get that golem, but it's going to be too late. The base is only on half health with some shield, and unless they can quickly teleport, we're going to see them teleporting up. The entire red team is putting the pressure on the blue team palace. I do not think it's going to be able to last out this long. We've got 4 of them solely focusing down that palace, and out come the blue team from the mines. They've teleported back to their base, but it does not look as though this is going to make any difference whatsoever. Really need very focused fire from the blue team. 1 red team hero down, but it is not going to be enough. Blue teams go to try and push for that final skull buff. Has really finished the game, and our red team have taken the victory in that 50-minute fast and furious game on Haunted Mines. Brilliant stuff. Thank you very, very much for tuning into that Shoutcast. First time of shoutcasting Heroes of the Storm, so thank you very much for your patience. If you're a new player, I hope you got a bit of the furious, frantic action that is Heroes of the Storm. 5v5, imagine what would happen if you take your favourite Blizzard characters from all sorts of universes, stick them in one area and let them have at each other like hammer and tongs. That is Heroes of the Storm in a nutshell. Haunted Mines is one map of many different game modes that you can play this in. Fantastic skins, really good heroes, and as you can see, fast and furious action that is well worth a go. So at the moment this game is in technical alpha, so please do bear that in mind when looking at the footage. It will be shined, buffed, polished, tweaked and all sorts of things before it releases, but looking really promising so far. This has been casted as part of the So You Think You Can Cast Blizzard community activity around Heroes of the Storm. Every month they release a new developer show match which you can check out and you can cast over the top of, so I'm going to submit this right now, and thank you for tuning in. This has been part of FailCraft Casts. As a quick sign off, you can check us out on youtube.com/FailCraft Casts. You can hit subscribe below. We're on Twitch also, and you can find all of those details at failcraft.org. Thank you very much for tuning in. This has been Hammy shoutcasting Heroes of the Storm, and stay tuned to @BlizzHeroes on Twitter or heroesofthestorm.com for more brilliant Heroes content. There are some people out in technical alpha at the moment as well, so if you want to get involved in this game, then you need to be subscribed with a Battle.net account for beta opt-ins for Blizzard games. So you can do that by going to battle.net, creating an account. If you don't have one already, you very much should do, and then following instructions on heroesofthestorm.com, which will allow you to sign up and be eligible for potential beta testing in the future. So go and sign up, check out all of the amazing content, and if you did like this, or if you've got feedback on how we could cast better for you, just hit subscribe, like, or just simply comment below and let us know. Thanks.